That's gonna be that's really gross.
That's a beautiful way to start.
Yeah, what way to start?
I know.
Don't get the hair. We love it.
It does give you a couple of seconds to warm up, but just for clarification, for anyone who's like, Hannah, what are you doing? I've just put some moisturizer on my sunburn. Because I do have after sun, but it's always really runny. So what I find is the oil control gel by Body Shop is actually really great because it's just enough to like cool my skin down. But problem is I just got loads in my hair, so my hair's really sticky.
I mean, we're matching the bad hair. Mine's just wet.
This is dried naturally while painting.
Yeah, this is dried naturally whilst in a bun at work today. I was at the Harbour Arm all day, so it was lovely and sunny, but I am now very, very sunburnt. We have Ali in the comments rather than all up in our biz today because she's not feeling great. But yay that she enjoyed the book. I'm surprised she didn't give it a 5 stars. I gave it a 5. I was this was sick.
Ali, if you can manage it, we need your thoughts on the thing. When we get to it, if you can stay that long, please. The thing.
Yeah.
We need.
I mean, I've literally just got 2 tabs. There are exactly 2 things I want to talk about. So I don't even know if it's worth doing like a non-spoilery bit, to be honest.
Is there anything to say in the non-spoilery section?
Like it's book 6. Like, if you're just discovering the DeaDFamous Readalong now, do me a favor, go read book 1, jump on those lives, because I think you're right. I think it's we just got to go straight with the spoilers.
Oh yeah.
So we can discuss like what ratings we gave it, and like then I think we should just go straight into.
Have you read this dedication though?
I think I did.
I like the spaces. I want to put my name in there, or get him to sign it in there if I ever meet him.
Yeah. Oh, I think that. Yeah, I think of all of them, this is the one that I'm like. This is it's just everything. I really enjoyed Mortal Coil, but this is everything.
This was my favourite. I've been waiting for this moment since the start of this read-along. I've been holding it in for so long.
Okay. The amount of times when you guys are like, oh yeah, and we're like doing this, I literally stopped myself, being like, oh no, don't spoil. But we'll get to it in time. I know that you know anyway, but we'll get to it in time. But like,
these are the moments when me and Abby were going, no, say nothing, say nothing, say nothing, don't show the face.
I think that's fair, and like it'll be really interesting to like watch back and like to see the comments that I made, and then be like, oh no, that's not what's happened.
You have no idea how much fun I've had watching your comments and going, no.
No, that's fair. That's fair. So okay, in which case, like, because I don't think we'll be able to talk about anything else until we get there. Let's talk about that big elephant in the room. Who knew that Fergus could do magic?
I know. It's insane.
Who would have thought that Fergus of all people?
Not gonna lie, Becca, since you sent me that message earlier being like, I've been desperate to talk about this, I was like, what can I say? What little thing can I pull out of nowhere? just to be like, let's talk about it, and then pick this. But that is one of the 2 things that I really wanted to talk about, was the fact that Fergus...
To be fair, I do love the fact that he had magic. Like,
yeah,
I love it.
Because it means that the will reading, Skullduggery walked in and he went, him. Yeah. And it's probably why he hated him so much immediately.
Yeah.
On sight.
Yeah. Like on site. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really interesting. It's one of those things where like once you know that, there are behaviours that you're just like, oh, of course. Like, you know, him wanting the house rather than the like the whatever it was, like the yacht or stuff, like it's because it's so that he can manage it. It's so that he can be like, okay, well, this will stop. Like, he probably would have torn the whole thing down and just been like, oh, I guess it's like, he wouldn't have moved in. And it's really interesting because like Fergus as a character has had absolutely zero plot arc. Like nothing has really involved him except him being overweight and awful. And those 2 things are like they're not.
Fergus overweight?
It's one of like the first things that's described about him is that he's like him and his daughters, and then his wife is shrew-like.
Wait, I always assumed
things from the first book.
My brain. Okay, so I read these when I was very young. I assumed that Beryl was large, and that Fergus was slim.
Oh, maybe it is that way around. I don't know. I just remember it being like a really big thing that the whole family are like rotund.
I'm trying to stop myself being white out, and it's not working.
I wish, like, usually I'm like blending in my background. This time it's like, oh.
And as we just discussed before we went live, this is me with a tan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying. But yes, so I think as well, when him and Beryl, I think Beryl was just enjoying kind of niggling at Val. But in the very beginning, when Beryl and Fergus see him with that weird man from the reading and they go and tell her parents, yeah, sure, Beryl's just like, ha 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 ha. Fergus, like, is trying to look after her in what he thinks is the best way. He, like, that's him genuinely caring for her. Not just being like, no, we don't want you to speak to the weird people. Like, genuinely, he's like,
yeah, because as far as he's concerned, it's dangerous, which it is.
Yeah.
Like, you think the just the level of shit that Valkyrie is. Yeah.
But it's like how you just don't think he doesn't care the whole way through, and he's just money hungry, and then it turns out he actually has some level of care for someone who isn't himself. It's like,
Weird.
There is a conscience in there somewhere. It's buried, but it's in there.
It's buried. It's like way down deep, but it is there.
Yeah.
It's deeper than that house under Gordon's. It's deeper than the caves.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it just shone through a little bit for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They opened the door to the cellar and the little bit of care came out. Remnant. It was like a remnant of caring.
A reverse remnant.
Yes.
Reverse remnant. I wanted to find the quote that I found that like perfectly describes Fergus, because there's a bit where Valkyrie talks to Gordon about it, and Gordon describes Fergus as, my brother is a riddle wrapped in a mystery wrapped in a cardigan. And I just really enjoyed that. Like, I've got quite a few favorite quotes from this one. Like, I think this one, as far as like humor goes, was probably my favorite, just with like the one-liners. It just absolutely nailed it.
Now I'm trying to see if I've got any of the quotes. Did I send any quotes?
No, you just put these books always have the best quotes. Oh, you did say that you enjoyed every mention of Valkyrie hulking out.
Yes, because that always makes me happy for obvious reasons. I'm literally wearing a Marvel shirt right now. So.
For obvious reasons. Yeah. So, no, I really enjoyed that.
What about the quote of Craven is a snake and a weasel?
Yes, I also enjoyed that. And also accurate.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad he's dead now. He's dead, isn't he? Craven.
Did he die in the end? I thought he escaped.
No, Melancholia killed him.
See, this is something that I think is really interesting about skullduggery in general. Is like you'll have these like really important characters die in the most mundane and then they're dead kind of way. That it's almost like a blink and you miss it kind of thing, which I find really bizarre. Because like Serpine in the first book was exactly the same, where it's just like, oh, and he's dead, and it was just like, when, how, by who? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously you do see it, but it is a real like. There's no like super dramatic build up to it. There's no poignant death scene. It's just like, and then he was dead.
It's sort of like, oh wait, he's just disappeared. Okay, he just blinked out.
Yeah,
and it's just like
ceased to be. Yeah. So Becca, did you want to talk about the super dramatic thing that you're really excited to talk about?
Right. Do we all want to say it together? Because
that's a risk, because if I have got it wrong and then I say something and it's not the thing you want to talk about, I will look very silly. So why don't you start the conversation about the thing you want to talk about?
Skullduggery Pleasant is Lord Vile.
Yeah, good. It was the right thing.
I've been so waiting to say that for months. I've nearly let it slip about 4 times.
Every time they mention Vile, every time in those past 5 books, Skullduggery is mysteriously not there. Skullduggery is dead at that point. Skullduggery has been gone for years and Lord Vile was around. And like, we didn't pick up on it the first time around that we read it, but reading it back and seeing it and watching you lot not pick it up, and we're like,
it's obvious, but it's not. But it's also like, they're discussing, Skullduggery starts going quiet. And it's sort of like he just stops talking. And things
It's
like
not
this.
like him at all.
No. But you don't notice the entire time. It's like, how didn't we notice this?
If you ever, like, if you even just, like, read, like, a quote from it or something, if you find online, and you will be like, how the hell did I miss this? Like, the entire, that's why we've been pulling faces at each other.
Yeah, it is so subtle though, because like it's one of those things where like it's why I think Derek Landy's actually quite a master writer, because I think a lot of mysteries will give you everything you need but not tell you that's what you need, and he's really good at doing that. Like there's things, like you said, there's things about Fergus's behavior, there's things about the way Skullduggery references it, there's things about the timings of it, there's things that the fact that China Sorrows always responds to Skullduggery in a different way to everyone else, almost like, okay, she's fully aware what happened, what the repercussions were, even if she doesn't know. Do you know what I mean? Like there's all this stuff that's layered. It's really clever. It's a very good book.
Yeah.
And there's more coming.
Oh yeah.
I just sit here in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Becca's got what, 2 books? Not including Maleficent 7. 2.
3, isn't it?
No.
No, because it goes on to book 9, isn't it? And that's when series 1 ends.
Well, yeah, this was 6. So we've
Yeah,
got...
and then 7, 8, and 9.
Where the hell? Oh, it's Hannah's fault.
Why?
Because I was filming.
Oh.
They were there. I was counting them
Mm-hmm.
on my Skullduggery shelf, and it's not on the Skullduggery shelf, it's there.
The mind boggles to what you were filming.
Oh,
Because I
so
don't know.
Becca, basically, do you remember back in March I put a tweet out saying if I were to organise a bookish taskmaster,
Oh.
would be involved? Well, I finally sorted all the prompts, and I've got my taskmaster in the form of so Abby
Jesus.
now a contestant.
It's there.
Like, it's not even easy to get to. That's really funny. So Emma from Drinking by My Shelf is going to be the taskmaster and judge the responses. And I've got 5 teams of at least 3 people each at the moment. So there's still time if you want to jump on. You absolutely can. But basically, there's 10 tasks that you have to film, and you have to send me the raw footage so that I can then put it all together.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And so far, Abby has an hour and a half's worth of footage for me to edit. So.
That was hours ago. I don't even want to think about. Let me see. Now I'm gonna go check. And that's not including everything, because some of it is on my phone, as we discussed before when it was just us. Let's see. 3
hours worth.
Have fun editing that.
This is I offered to assist.
Not only that, but I'm going to get that for 15 people.
Have fun.
I will say there is a
really
large portion of mine which is just on the first one. I spent a long time. A long time. Mm-hmm. That's the one I spent the longest on. It was a nightmare. And you can probably cut an hour out and not miss anything.
I probably will.
Probably, yes. But you want the raw footage, you're getting it.
Imagine if at the end of the whole thing, I'm like, cool, there's 15 hours worth. I think the thing that's going to like really I'm going to feel really guilty about is the fact that obviously because there's 3 people per team and there's only 10 like tasks, there's going to be at least 2 tasks that you are put forward for, but that means you're not going to be put forward for all of them. And my fear, I'm just going to feel so awful that people have done all this and then I'm like, yep, not going to use that one. That's the bit that I feel guilty about already.
Well, you could do maybe like a separate video of like highlights of other bits.
Well, my thought
I've done all but one, Ali. All but one.
I did think the other thing that I would do is make like an individual's response to each task's video that you can then like just share and do whatever you want with. So
you can remove me for the very specific prompt of something impressive.
Why?
Because I'm not impressive.
That's why I want to include it, because that's going to be funnier.
No, because it wasn't. I was literally just out there like, I went and asked my parents. They couldn't come up with anything.
Oh, good.
Literally nothing.
Brilliant.
They were like, I was like, piano? I was like, I'm bad at the piano. She's like, and Dad just went, nah, not really, and then walked off. So,
Well, no.
please then also film something for that one, because you have birthed a human. You have created an entire life form.
Not only that, she's done it twice. And
Exactly.
she's kept them alive.
Yeah.
That's a skill.
That's too much.
Majorly impressive.
Too much.
See,
Could not.
My thing
My
isn't
part's
that impressive, or at least I don't think it's that impressive. And then I'll do it at a party, and drunk people think it's amazing. They think it's magic.
That means nothing.
See, I just gross people out with.
It's that. I do what I'm thinking, but I get faster and faster, and drunk people blows their tiny brains.
I just gross people out with mine because I'm very bendy, so my fingers bend back really far.
I'm very bendy.
Yeah, I am. In hands.
Literally, you would probably win.
Yeah.
I made this.
I created life.
Hello, created this in my womb. It's alive.
Okay.
There's another one over there.
There's another one over there. Okay, so Skullduggery as Vile. The ultimate hero is also both hero and ultimate villain.
But what I love about it as well is that it means that both him and Valkyrie are two sides of two separate coins, because you've got the good side and the really evil side.
Yeah.
And both of them can be Deathbringers, but also both of them can save the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's why he didn't worry so much about the fact that she was Dark S, because he's been there.
So I wonder what his true name is.
I don't know.
Like, which side does it fall on? Because obviously the idea is that obviously you can control someone by their true name, but their true name also says something about them.
I don't know. It's probably going to be like...
The Book of Names got destroyed, didn't it? Like, way back when.
Yeah. It's probably going to be like the Doctor's name, where you never find it out.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume so. I would assume, especially because Landy is quite a big Who fan.
Yeah.
I think he's quite happy with us never knowing Skullduggery's real name.
Mm.
Or even...
Skullduggery's a higher being. Maybe he doesn't have a name.
I mean, he already has 3.
Or would his true name be countered by the fact that it's not, like, it's an anthropomorphized skeleton as opposed to, like, a human?
Oh, so you're thinking that the original man and Skullduggery would have 2 different true names? Possibly. Landy, are you watching? Use that.
Well, because, like, would he have called himself Skullduggery Pleasant before he was a skull?
Well,
I don't know if he did.
Well, the thing is that, like, when he
I'm not
came
sure
to
what
life,
to say.
he'd already known everybody. Like, he knew Ghastly and everybody, and they all recognised... I assume they recognised him when he first turned up.
The suit and the hat.
Oh, let's be honest, he turned up
A
sassy.
skeleton in a suit and a hat.
Oh, no, let's be honest here. He turned up sassy and they went, oh, right, yeah, it's him.
Oh, it's him, yeah.
But, like,
there he
you
is.
can... They've mentioned before that you can change your chosen name.
Yeah.
So, it's
What's
not
the
like it's
bet?
impossible.
What's the bet in one of the dead men started calling him Skullduggery Pleasant, and it just grew like a nickname until he went, oh, bugger it, I'll just go by this name.
Yeah. Like, it started off as a joke because he was actually super grumpy.
Sounds like him, yes.
Like, I'm a living skeleton. Why would I be happy about this?
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. Anything else you want to say regarding the Vile stuff?
The fact that when it came out, it was one of the people, the necromancers, who said it, and he's known this entire time. It was like, he could have used that at any moment, and he was just like, no, I'm good.
his little smug like walk away of like, oh, I'm so glad I waited until the perfect time. Oh my god, I'm being attacked.
Yeah.
I forgot that he did that. Like,
Yeah.
as in, I don't mean I read it and remembered. I mean the fact that he is the one who tells us the vial is vile was erased from my brain. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, like, you know when you forget something about a book and you read it and you go, oh yeah, when you're rereading a book? No recollection. None. I don't know if I skipped the page. I don't know what I did. I have no recollection of the fact that that man did that at that point. That is brand new information to my brain. I was just like,
You didn't remember either that he was the one who brought Skullduggery back.
no, I didn't. You don't need to attack me.
Yeah, neither of us remembered that because that's in the same paragraph where he does the whole like Skullduggery became Lord Vile thing. So we forgot that it was him who brought him back, and we were like, oh yeah, he's Lord Vile. I completely forgot everything else.
My brain just was so shocked. My childhood brain was so shooketh
Yeah,
at the vile revelation that it went, no, don't need to remember Tenenberg.
yeah,
Tenenberg can go. Goodbye.
yeah. Like, him gone, bigger plot twist to deal with right now. You know, it's so much
But
fun.
what I loved, not about the reveal, but just about Vile, was okay. So I mentioned this to Becca. I sent her a message because I knew, obviously, that she knew already, and I wasn't sure where you guys were up to. There's a point where, not too long before the reveal happens, Val is looking at Skullduggery, and I think. Oh no! Wait, the reveals happened. I think I can't remember exactly when it was. So Val's looking at Skullduggery. I think it's when Melisandre's killed him, and he's just lying on the floor, and she sees shadows through his eye sockets. And then, like 2 minutes later, he's Lord Vile. And I've never picked up on that before, and I didn't pick up on it at the time. I was about 200 pages further ahead, and then remembered and was like, "Oh my god, Becca!"
Yeah,
Literally, I was like, she knew what page I was on. I was like, "No, wait, go back 200 pages. I've just thought of something." I literally, my brain went, "No. 2 hours ago you read this. Go grab that."
Yeah.
But it was just the fact that Skull with the shadows in it, and it's like Vile always appears like shadows around him. That's how he kind of forms. And I was like, how did I not pick up on that? I mean, I clearly did, but like,
well, to be fair, I was this many days old when I realised that because you had to explain it to me.
But see, it's all the layers, isn't it, of finding it all out, and then you can read it and again and again and again and again, and you still pick up bits that you didn't get the first 400 times you've read it.
Yeah.
But what I get as well is the one question I have is the fact that they've used like the Deathbringer and the Lord Vile armor before to fight different things, and you're like, why didn't Skullduggery like why didn't it come out then, and B, why didn't the armor when wasn't it who else wore the Lord Vile armor?
Yeah, the Russian
Vengeance.
guy. Yeah, Vengeance.
Why didn't Skullduggery call the armor to him?
Why would he want to?
Yeah,
because it stopped the apocalypse.
But I don't remember a time when they were up against Vengeance in the armor or were tracing the armor where it wouldn't have been really obvious to everyone they were around that Skullduggery had some kind of power over it. Because what I vaguely remember from that is that you had Ghastly driving a van or Tanith on a motorbike or like them like fighting to get this stuff out. And I feel like there wouldn't have been a time where he was on his own to deal with that. Or just him and Valkyrie. Like, that he wouldn't have been able to do that on the sly.
Yeah, because he couldn't have revealed it anyway, because then Ghastly would have found out that Skullduggery was the one who killed his mother.
Yeah.
And that would have derailed everything.
Mm-hmm.
It would have destroyed him.
I do feel like it's really interesting because, like, it was one of those things where, like, learning that as a thing, you're like, oh my god, dramatic plot twist. But there are so many worse elements of that. Like the idea that, yeah, he killed Ghastly's mother and has still, to this day, pushed Ghastly into more and more danger to support him and has preyed on the fact that Ghastly wants to defend people because of this thing that has happened to him, and he is still friends with him. Like, the level of manipulation that's involved in that is incredibly fucked up.
But then is it even conscious? Which does that make it better or worse? I don't know. But is it even conscious, or is
if he's aware of what he did and who he was, and as far as he's concerned, not talking about it is easier because he can then just get on with the job and repent that way. That's not his decision to make. Like, imagine, for example, and this is on a far smaller scale, right? I come into your house and I steal some of your books, and you know these.
I thought you were going to say slap my mother.
Would never. Okay,
I
yeah,
was
sure.
about to say me and Dad
Your
would just
house,
sit
I
there
slap your
cackling.
mum. But I don't tell you that it was me that did it, and your mum isn't around to tell you I did it, and then I continue to use your resources. Like, that's fucked up. Even on that lower level, that's fucked up. Because it's not that Skullduggery doesn't know. Because that's one of the things that him and Valkyrie talk about is like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, what would have changed? And like, it's like, well, actually, quite a bit. She wouldn't have gone on all these adventures. He wouldn't have had his little companion. It's an incredibly selfish thing to do.
But at the same time, how much of it is his subconscious? Because Vile is his subconscious. So how much of it is Vile in the little back of his head, sort of influencing everything?
It's the thing where it's like, it's something that is very bad to do, and he must be aware of it on some level. But how much being aware of something doesn't mean you have complete control over it. So it's like, it's trying to like think. It's a philosophical discussion of like, is he aware of everything? Like, does he know? And is he, like you've said, Hannah, is he doing it like this, very selfish, he only wants to look after himself? One, then even just with that, with the trauma he's been through, that then needs to be added in to the discussion. But then even without that, yeah, he's got this weird, magical, mystical, evil thing in his head. So is he even aware of it? And if he's aware of it, can he control it? Like, there's so many layers. Like, yeah, sure, like, even if he's doing it completely consciously, the man was tortured and watched his wife and his children be tortured and murdered in front of him. That's gonna fuck you up.
It's just really interesting to me that that's all happening, or that all happened to him, and then he's carried on the circle and done it to Ghastly, because China Soros hasn't told him that she's the reason his family are dead. She's continued to use him as a resource and be used as a resource, knowing damn well that her one big secret is that she cost Skullduggery his family.
And I was also sad to read when they found out, because I knew it would destroy the relationship. So I have the same reaction even to that, even though China is she's middle but bad. Like, if you had to push her one side or the other, for this point in time, she's pushed to bad. And even for that, I was like, because if they'd known at the time, this is the thing, if both of them, if Ghastly and if Skullduggery had known at that point in time who had done it, by now they would probably still be at the same place. Because they had to overcome it anyway, and then other things in place, other things in action that resulted in X, Y, and Z taking place. And so there probably would have been at least some level of mild forgiveness or acceptance, depending, because he was using China as a resource till Val came, and then Val decided, nope, I want to be friends, and Skullduggery was like, okay. So, like, if he'd known that China had been the reason for his wife being dead, as and when it happened, that still could have been, like, where they ended up. They still could have ended up in the same sort of relationship.
I doubt that. If you go on a murderous rampage to that extent, and then you constantly have that burning within you, you're not going to be chummy with this person just because they have resources. Like, he would find resources elsewhere.
But he wasn't chummy.
Because it will all blow up. It absolutely will. And Derek Landy's like really good at drawing out a tragedy, because in the same book that we as an audience find out something before Skullduggery does that will absolutely corrupt him, absolutely, we see them dancing and sharing this really close moment, and it borderlines romantic because they have this mutual respect, except it's built on a complete lie. Like, as far as China's concerned, she does fully respect Skullduggery, but Skullduggery respects the person he thinks she is, and he doesn't think she's a good person. He doesn't think she's a nice person. He knows she's evil, but I think it's the difference between someone who does something awful to others versus does something awful to you. I don't think that is something he will ever forgive her for, or could ever forgive her for. And it's going to be really interesting going forward to see how their shit unfolds.
Can we move on, please? I'm the only one who knows, I think.
No, I know.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Don't worry, I know. I'm sitting here with knowledge.
This is where I start getting murky as to where I was already murky because it's a big series, but as to specifically where things occur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if it happened in the new season or the first season. So I was like, stuck. I know.
I know. I'll message you later.
I'll message you later.
Yeah.
Oh no. Hurry up and read the new ones, god damn it.
Yeah, shush. We haven't gone there yet.
If it makes you feel any better, even if we can't talk about it here, I was looking something up on the Skullduggery wiki page to just check something when I was making some notes the other day, and received a massive spoiler related to China and Skullduggery. So chances are I do actually know what you're talking about, and I had just casually forgotten. But it's going to be interesting to read regardless.
Well, I saw a massive spoiler last year because I stupidly followed a Instagram account dedicated to Skullduggery, and they had a spoilers swipe button, and I stupidly swiped, didn't I? So I saw something. I'm like,
I'm up to date.
Yeah, shush.
I felt really bad. So when I was at the market today, and I have the hardback for sale in the shop, obviously, and this kid came up and he's like, "Oh, it's the newest one. I can't wait to read this one." And his mom was just like, "We're getting the paperback when it comes out," and just like pushed him forwards. I was like, "That's mean. Just let him read his book."
And then there's me who's got the paperbacks and then the latest ones in hardbacks because I was like, well, I'm not waiting. I'm not there yet, but I'm not waiting to have it on my shelf.
No, mine was hitting, so I'm never letting that out of my sight.
The reason why mine are mostly hardback is because I got the first three like as a set. Mum got them all together when she worked in DeaDFamous before Dark Days came out. I got them the Christmas before Dark Days. Dark Days came out. And DeaDFamous always, I don't know what they do now, but at the time they always did this thing when new books would go half price at a certain time, not long after their release. Like if you managed to get it in a certain spot and her staff discount. So like I have recently unhauled Zoella's book, Girl Online. And that is like recommended retail price of 13 quid. My mum paid a £5. So this is what happened with all of these, and that's why I have all of them in hardback up until Resurrection, which is the first one in the new season, where I was like, well, I have all of the others bar the first three, and like,
yeah.
And that's the only reason I got them all in hardback. It's because she was able to get them cheap.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Right. Should we talk about other things? Oh, I just scared the life. I could see he was like working his way to jumping up, and then he decided to be really dramatic about it. Let's talk about. Should we talk about the Deathbringer, seeing as that's what the actual title of the book is, and nothing to do. Like Lord Vile's not even on the front. Also, I'm never going to get over the fact that I think that guy looks like Kylo Ren.
Now you've ruined him.
You're so.
Who is it?
It's the guy that was training Valkyrie. What's his name?
I was literally about to say, if you say it's Reef, I'm going to hit you. So can you please hit yourself with your book for me? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is because it's.
I also imagine Reef to be older than looking like that.
I imagined him older. I know that he is older than that because magic and but I imagine him to look older.
Yeah, I was thinking like middle-aged man.
Yeah.
But yes, do you mean this Deathbringer?
Melancholia.
That one, as opposed to that one.
They're so different.
They're drawn by the same person, funnily enough.
I know.
You can't really see just because of the glare, but she's got really detailed scarification all over her face in this one.
Same on this one.
It's really gorgeous.
Has anyone else noticed that it's also on the back, like on the paperbacks? There's actually little illustrations in the ink splat bit at the bottom.
Yeah.
I only noticed
on them.
I only noticed that last month as I was doing my wrap up. I suddenly went, "Oh, pictures!"
I really enjoy that Lord Vile's just hanging out in the corner.
Yeah.
Ooh, I've never seen a drawing of Vile. He's not on the hardback covers.
There you go.
Oh my god. That is not how I imagined him, but it makes sense.
Notice how they've got Vile next to Skullduggery there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And also how absolutely shook Valkyrie looks.
Oh yeah.
This is Valkyrie in that photo.
Is it in this one, or is it in the last one that Valkyrie goes through a breakup?
This one.
This one.
Okay,
This
cool.
one.
I wasn't sure, and I couldn't. This is the thing. So my mistake was reading this in the first week of the month because now I'm amalgamating this and Mortal Coil. So Fletcher, bless him, absolute idiot child that he is, has a very mature response to breakups, which I loved that.
He does. And I love how at the end, I know that he's kind of like obligated to because he knows the circumstances, but when Val uses him as speed dial, like rescue me. And yes, he's obligated in the circumstances, but also exes, both real and fictional, have also went, why would I come help you? And it's the fact that he doesn't even question it. And there's just like that joking quip of like, you should really take me off your speed dial.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that he still jumps in, even though she absolutely tore his heart out, ripped it up, and then stamped on it.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a horrible way to break up with him.
She was vile. Like, okay, so I was talking to my brother. He started the series because I've obviously banged on about it for months now, and he was the one that introduced me to the series in the first place, but he only read like the first 2 books, and he's been listening to the second book, audiobook, and he's like, I'm not entirely sure I made it through the whole of the second one the first time I read it, like when he was a kid. So like he's going through it now, and he was like, one thing I don't understand about Valkyrie is the fact that she talks like a 40-year-old woman. And I was like, but that's what I like about her, is like the maturity. So in Deathbringer, which is a fucking brat to everybody, I have never hated a protagonist so much in my life. Like, if you could just take Valkyrie out of this book and have all the other characters do all the other things, I don't think I'd mind.
See, I kind of love that. The thing that makes her act so childish versus normal. Like, she is confronted with death and with destruction and with end of the world and having to sit amongst all these adults and have serious discussions. She's fine. But you put her in the situation, a very teenage situation of having to break up with somebody who she still cares for, but not in a romantic sense. And she F's it up so badly, and she acts like such a child, and it's perfect. It's like, I know you hated it, but it's perfect in that, like, she's so mature with everything. Like, she by herself was like, oh, I'm scheduled to be the mass murderer of the planet and murder everyone, including my parents. I'm going to solve this by myself. Boyfriend, however, no, this is going to be ruined.
But you know what? It's the same characteristic in her. Like, it's not like she's had like a personalities like transplant. It's the same thing that makes her go, I need to fix this, that makes her go, I need to break up with you. Like, it's just this wisdom that she thinks she has, that once she's made a decision she has to stick to it. It's like, no, you can change your mind. Like, that's absolutely fine. You are totally within your rights to change your mind. And like the Kaylin thing, like when she says something about like it's just not dangerous with you, or you're boring, or something like that, I was just like, oh yeah, you're a teenager. Because like I remember not dumping boyfriends, but like getting to the point where I was like, this isn't interesting anymore. Like, there's nothing here. And it's like, well, actually, like, he would literally do anything for you, and he's not like rude. He gets on really well with her family. Like, he's a nice guy without it being like the tropey white knight nice guy. And then you're giving him up for what? Some vampire kisses? Look, I've read Twilight. It's really not worth it.
But it's not even for the vampire kisses, because Kaylin's gone too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just fed up with him.
What gets me with all of this is the fact that she's cheating on Fletcher with Kaylin this whole time. And my question is it Dark S in the back of her mind starting to make her make bad decisions and start doing bad things?
No, it's hormones. It's not Dark S. I'd love for it to be like, ooh, she's reaching for a bad boy. Because, like, obviously, especially when Ghastly makes the comparison between him and, like, Tanith and Fletcher and Valkyrie, I thought that was really sweet. And I love that he's just like, I guess we're both doomed. Like, it's just like this little bro moment that they share. I love that so much. But the difference is, Tanith was possessed by a demon. Valkyrie is just a teenager. Like, she doesn't. I think, yeah, she has Darkest in her. And I guess in a way, it does kind of explain some of the stuff with regards to her reflection being just a bit of a dick. Because it's like, well, actually, if the reflection also encompasses your subconscious, yeah, like, she is going to be an emotionless arsehole. And she's like, there's moments when she talks about like her and Valkyrie having like full on rows about like whether it's our mum or your mum and stuff like that. And I just think, yeah, but no, it's hormones, Becca. It's definitely hormones.
I'm looking too far into this and sort of going, oh, is it this? Is it
trying to make it a thing? It's not a thing.
With Dark S and with Lord Vile, the fight.
Yes.
The fight.
Well, the fight that takes up like 100 pages.
Yeah. But it was like the most cinematic fight of this entire thing as well.
Yes.
Like I could see
Is it 100 pages?
No, it wasn't 100 pages. I'm obviously hyperbolizing.
It was a
It
long.
felt like about 10.
It probably is quite a few pages, but
it is a long fight scene. Yes. It's a long fight scene. It's a long.
When they fly over Dublin.
Yeah. It feels quick because so many things happen.
I also read these books really quickly. I've now discovered that at least with these rereads, I don't know once we get on to the later books where I've not reread them before, but I actually read 100 pages in half an hour.
Jesus.
Right, I don't do that. I read a page a minute, you absolute monster.
Well, normal books. Like,
to be fair, I can do about 100 pages in an hour.
This, 100 pages an hour. This book right here, if you gave me 1 hour and said you're doing nothing but reading, I will be at the 100-page mark if I start from 0. This, I'll be at 200. I don't know why. I was like, oh, I'll just read for an hour. I'll read 100 pages. I read 100 pages. I looked up and went, that's been half an hour. What?
Not even I'm that quick on these. I can read about 100 pages in about an hour of those ones, but I'm usually about 60 pages an hour, so I just speed up a bit.
Very quickly, apparently.
Clearly.
No,
It's the bane of my partner's life, because he reads about 20 pages an hour.
Jesus.
Like, he's very slow, and it's because he like really takes his time to like make sure he's analyzing the sentences correctly, and like he really. And so he will read like, and I'm like, how, like, I couldn't be that slow intentionally. But like, obviously, like, he's like, oh, like, I've seen people as well who've been like, oh, you read more than me, like, that's better. It's like, no, it's not. Like, he gets more from his first round. Like, for all I know, we've never like reread the same book. We've read a couple of the same books, but we've never reread the same book. And I bet he knows more from his first pass than I do. That doesn't impact my enjoyment because I love rereading and he's not as keen on it.
Yeah.
But like, I bet with how much depth he goes into, I bet he would know whether it's Beryl or Fergus who's fat.
Yeah,
he would know.
I think you should make content out of this. I'd absolutely watch that.
Yeah.
I would watch you both read a book, come up with 10 questions each, and then test each other to see who remembers more.
Considering the upcoming events, that could actually be quite a good idea. You have no idea how excited I keep getting. Like, it's for anyone who has no idea and doesn't know and doesn't follow me anywhere, I'm moving out to live with my partner in York. I'm very excited. I currently live with my family in Newcastle. And so I keep fluctuating between like panic because I have to move myself. My parents can't help me and I don't drive. So I'm gonna have to like hire a moving van and organize all this stuff, and it's trying to figure out how to pack whilst my parents are packing because they're moving at exactly the same time as me, which is awful. But then also being like, wait, but I can buy books. I've not been able to buy books since I came back here. I've had to sneak them in, literally, like pre-lockdown. I was hiding them in my bags when I came home from like charity shops and stuff.
You're gonna fill up.
I have an Amazon voucher. I have an Amazon voucher from situations that happened when I was at uni. Long story. £100 Amazon voucher. Ooh. Now I can't do anything else with this. I don't support Amazon. Okay? I don't agree with Amazon. However, they were like, oh, it's compensation for this. This is what you get. I'm going to get a lot of books.
Go for the Kindle books and you'll get twice as many.
I want the books.
Oh,
Chris has already said he's fine with it. Literally, he was like, oh, well, like looking at houses, he's like, this is your library. We're discussing the different types of Billy bookcases that we can have because there's a specific corner one. So he wants to see if we can, like, he's 100% up for like helping me make this a library, and I'm like, this is why I love you.
Marry him.
Yeah, marry him.
Give up, marry him. That's it. If he's willing,
literally, it was like my only condition is that I have to have somewhere to put my books because he reads as well.
You can have a bookcase.
You can have a bookcase in the library that is mine.
Exactly. Like, you can choose. I don't mind intermingling the books. I don't mind separating the books. We can organize these together. I'm very excited. I'm so excited.
I'm pleased for you. I'm very pleased.
Yes. So.
Anyway, we were going to talk about the Deathbringer.
Yeah, because how did we get from there to there?
Honestly, couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you.
Watch the live stream, Becca.
Yeah. I've got enough videos to watch. I haven't watched anything in a week. I've been redecorating. Good. We're still not done.
So, how do we feel about this absolute batshit crazy Superwoman?
She is an arsehole of a human being, but I can't help but like her.
Interesting.
Until she attacks her face. I like the messed up stabby ones.
She does love Loki.
That's true. I need to write that down. I love the messed up stabby ones.
Put it this way, I so love the messed up stabby ones, I've literally bought myself a set of Loki horns. So I can cosplay because I love the stabby ones.
That is a little far.
Not really. Spend enough time on TikTok and you'll suddenly want to cosplay.
That's why I deleted TikTok.
Suddenly want to kill people. I was like, I've been on TikTok for a while. I've not killed anyone yet.
But she's just messed up and stabby with her mind instead of physical stabby. She's fun. She's fun and unpredictable and chaotic.
Hannah's not listening because she's writing down your quote.
I say it often enough. I don't make it a secret. I like the stabby ones.
No, I like them stabby was my favourite bit. I like them stabby.
Look, I know. Can you hear this?
No. I've heard some level of cheering.
There's a party opposite and down one.
That I heard. The woo I heard.
It's for a 3-year-old.
Those toddlers are lit.
Those toddlers know how to party.
Because the mum works at the same school as my mum works at. So the kid goes to that school. And so there was one point where my mum was like, oh, look, because they had a bouncy castle. And the kid, I heard him scream, Mummy, there's Mrs. Robbins. I was like, oh. And he was like pointing at her and bouncing to try and see her over the bounce. It was adorable. It was adorable. But also the music is 8 o'clock at night. Send the 3-year-old to bed.
Ali?
Do I need to be concerned about your partner?
Same.
You are an asshole and we do love you. So to be fair, why are we judging?
Yeah. Can't say shit.
Arseholes are the best type of characters. They're more fun.
I enjoyed that. To be fair, arsehole characters are way more fun to read / watch than any other kind.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
Molly
can
Gray
also
arsehole.
confirm that Tony is super nice. I've never met him. I've just seen the shit that he deals with Ali.
What, just Ali?
Just Ali.
Just
Like,
Ali.
Ali would be sat there and she would just be like, no, I said to bring this thing to me. And I'm like, he's a human being.
I can tell you right now, Chris would tell me where to shove it.
Yeah.
Nope.
I
your
would not
ass.
survive in a relationship like that. I would murder someone for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean,
If
I'm pretty
someone was
sure.
like, no, Hannah, I wanted this, I'd be like, you fucking what, mate?
I mean,
If he tried to do that to me, I would phone his mother. If Chris did that to me, I'd be like, hiya. No, Chris is being a bit.
take your son back. He needs
So what you're
retraining.
saying is you would snitch to his mum.
Yes,
Excellent. Love that. Love that for you.
I have already done so in the past.
Amazing.
Nice one.
She loves me. It's fine.
Oh, mums usually do. I find mums love me. And yeah, anyway.
She's hated all of his exes.
Oh, that's how you know you're the one.
Oh yeah.
And all
No.
of his friends hated all of his exes as well. It was like, they were surprised. They met me at a wedding. And they were like, one of them was so drunk that she was like, didn't expect to like you, but you're so lovely. And I was like,
I wasn't expecting to like you. I mean, to be
why?
fair,
And she was like,
Abby,
the
you're gonna
rest
be
were
well anyway.
horrible. I was like, I mean, if I'm the best he's had, like,
It's a low
my
bar,
love,
obviously.
what's wrong with you?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What have you done that I am the like?
See, that's where I'm going wrong. Is I'm trying to date guys with standards because I have standards, and what I need to do is date guys that have had trauma, so that I seem like a delight.
Same. That's what I need. Just, I don't know. I need someone who's quiet. I think, and doesn't mind me going. Go away for a minute. I'm busy.
Go away. I was talking to someone the other day about polyamorous relationships, and I was like, I think I'd be quite happy to be in a polyamorous relationship. I would be monogamous, but they could be polyamorous because then they would get attention from other people, and I wouldn't have to give them all of my attention all of the time. And my friend was like, "No, Hannah, what you want is to be single." And I was like, "You right."
Not everyone needs to be coupled up
No.
or partnered to include more than just two people.
Mm.
You're saying this is weird. I don't know if you can even hear the music, but you saw me dancing.
I did, and also yes.
I'm assuming you could guess what the song was.
Gangnam
It's still
Style.
going.
Yeah, I can't hear that without thinking about it Strictly. So,
Could we talk about this goddamn book, please?
but the bit where she attacked Valkyrie,
Yes.
it was like, "Excuse you, what are you doing?"
More or less brutal than Valkyrie getting fucked up by the police officer in the last one.
More messed up.
Less.
I found it less, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's interesting that Becca says more. Please explain.
Because with the police officer, he's doing it knowing that she's got powers, isn't he?
No, I'm
Yes.
talking about just like the Mal, whatever her face is, the woman that like beats her up.
Yeah, because she's doing it like more from a position of power, but also just because she still knows that Valkyrie could, on some level, fight back. Whereas Melancholia takes her away and then leaves her
Valkyrie's got handcuffs on when
Yeah,
she gets.
but you know what I mean? It's sort of like, but Melancholia takes her away and makes her completely powerless, and then nearly kills her.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
But
saying.
the thing
Okay,
is,
so you're saying the fact that she gets pushed to that extreme.
Yeah,
Because for me,
it's
as a
more messed up.
reader, I found it a lot harder to read the police off the inspector lady, the detective lady, fucking her
the
up
abuse
than
of
Melancholia.
power.
But that just felt like two powerful women.
Yeah.
One of them has had their like mojo removed.
Yeah, it's like two powerful women, and one of them has been, for want of a better word, crippled in some manner. Whereas with Davina Ma, was
Yeah,
it?
that's it.
The detective. So with Ma versus Valkyrie, not only did Valkyrie have the handcuffs on, so in the same way that she's limited and crippled, I don't like that word, but I don't know what else to use. Limited, I guess.
Yeah.
In that she's limited with her magic powers. That's a sentence. It's an abuse of power. It's like Melancholia has made no secret of the fact that her aim is to kill people and that she fucking despises Val.
Yeah.
Davina Ma is supposed to be like, Melancholia is bad. Davina Ma, yeah, she's bad, but she's in a position of power that is supposed to be held as a protector of good. And we know that Val is acting, when she is Val, rather than Dark S, she is acting for the forces of good. Her methods aren't always great, but her intention is always to further the good. And so then seeing the abuse of power from someone who's supposed to be empowering for the good side, abusing someone who is powerful for the good side, because they can and because they want to and find it funny, versus Melancholia being like, you're an enemy, I have managed to limit your power, I'm going to use this to my advantage and strike now.
And to be fair, Davina was also older than Valkyrie as well, so you've got the abuse of power in the sense of adult and child.
Yeah.
As well,
Literal child.
Yeah, whereas Melancholia is only about, 18? So they are within a couple of years of each other, I think, aren't they?
By this point, I think Val is 17.
Yeah, I think she's about 17.
Because she's not, I think she's only a year younger than Melancholia. So she's like, compared to Davina Ma, who's what? 40s plus, because magic. So she's anywhere between 40 and 100 odd. God knows. But she's meant to be represented as like 40s. Beating up a 17-year-old. An 18-year-old beating up a 17-year-old is not the same.
But I also find
it bad, though.
I mean, yeah, it's still bad, but it's not adult versus child. Even though legally it's adult versus child, it isn't, and it wouldn't even be considered that in a court of law.
Yeah.
Because it's so close.
What I find quite interesting as well is because they are so similar in age, it's sort of like the parallel as to where things could have gone wrong for both of them. Because obviously Valkyrie's got Dark S in her, so she's destined to do the evil thing, whereas Melancholia could have turned out good. But it's sort of seeing how the two of them have sort of, how the two different sides of magic and how their mentors have treated them have sort of, I don't know what I'm saying, sort of made them diverge.
I do get what you're saying, because at the end of the day, Melancholia had the potential to be a powerful thing, regardless of the fact that she had all those things done to her. But because she had those things done to her, she was a dark being with a bad attitude.
I mean, Val's treatment of her doesn't help.
No.
Yeah, but a snarky teenager should not your entire personality make. Like, I'm sorry, I went to an all-girls school. If I let... Okay, maybe I did, actually. Maybe I did let all of those people define my personality just a little bit.
I was going to say, Hannah, have you met yourself?
Yes, I have. We don't get on.
I don't get on with myself either.
Same! That sounded like they were cheering.
Thanks!
That sounded like they were cheering the fact that none of us got on with ourselves.
Ironically, the teacher mum, her name, Abigail. Very confusing when mum's talking about school things. She's like, well, Abigail did this. I was like, when? When did I do this? No, the other one. Okay, fine.
Oh, the other one.
The other one. They've now got YMCA.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. You absolute anarchist. I don't know why I said anarchist so weirdly.
To be fair, the end of the... Like, if... Ali, do you mean the end of the entire series? Because if you mean, like, the book that hasn't yet come out, I would also accept that. Because I think Landy could write it well.
I would accept that. I really enjoyed the way you said that. No regrets.
I mean, I think it would be quite fun. You never see like books where the good guy goes completely bad and then destroys the world.
It's rare to see the good guys lose, like actively lose.
Oh,
and not in a way that could be. Huh?
I said you've obviously not read Lord of the Flies. The good guys lose pretty often in that book, actually.
I have not read Lord of the Flies.
Oh,
didn't have to study it in school.
That's fair.
That was studied by lower sets for some reason. God knows why.
Well, now don't I feel stupid?
Hey,
reverse in every school, man.
We studied Shrek, so
when?
Oh, what did you study at school? Shrek. We couldn't be trusted with the real fairy tales. We had to go with this version.
We literally did it in English GCSE. We studied Shrek.
Okay, because
Right,
year
so
9,
was absolutely having you on.
year 9, we didn't do it for GCSE, but year 9 English, we did Twilight.
The next year's after ours did Twilight, and at the time we were all really into Twilight, so we were all really upset about it. And now I'm like, thank God.
Right, I didn't study anything good. Like I did in Spectacles, The Lord of the Flies, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet. I did this like weird little like potato famine story. That was really cheery.
Didn't know that. We did Crucible, which is another thing, which has Abigail, shortened to Abby, as a main character. Let me tell you, I got an A star on that English exam, and half of the reason is that every time that my teacher said Abby or Abigail, my head went, and I paid attention. It was fantastic. It was awful at the time, but fantastic for the exam results. And then we did To Kill a Mockingbird.
We did Romeo and Juliet, the series that will not be named, and Alice in Wonderland.
In school?
Yeah, for A level. And then we did Alice in Wonderland, and I left every single lesson hating it. So that was fun.
We did Wise Children by Angela Carter and Feminine Gospels for A level.
Nice. We did Blue Remembered Hills, Othello, and what was the other thing we did? Oh, the Songs of Innocence and Experience. But when I did my English degree, we got to choose which books we could reference for a certain essay. So like we had our set text, and then we could choose a second text to make a comparison with. And my lecturer said, if anyone chooses the series that will not be named, I will just assume you are stupid and you choose not to read anything else. And I was just like, oh, like it was so brutal. Because like it was one of these things where like you probably could have made an argument to do an essay on that. But he was like, there's nothing you could say on it that hasn't been said already. And it was just like, he's got a point. He's got a point. So I love that.
He must have read, what, 100 of them already?
A week.
That week. Yeah. If I could go back, I would absolutely teach Skullduggery Pleasant too.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
100%.
Definitely.
100%.
There's so many things to talk about within the series.
It's weird that there are so many things to talk about, Becca, when we keep not talking about it.
We're so bad at this.
I'd like to point out it's not a we at this point.
But
anyway.
What else was I going to say then? I've just forgotten what I was going to say about the series itself.
I'm not allowed to speak anymore.
That's what I was going to say. Every time Skullduggery says to Valkyrie, there are things I haven't told you, I was messaging Abby going, yeah, you're not on file! You're missing something massive!
Like, for me, it was really bizarre because like everyone has been saying like you need to be careful with him. He's really dangerous, and they're saying that not knowing that he is big bad guy, that like he's still hella shady even without that.
Like he's dangerous, yeah, but you don't realise how bad it is. Push him a bit too far, and it will go to hell.
Yeah, you don't want to see me when I'm angry.
That's my secret.
I don't know what angry was.
That's my secret, Val. I'm always angry. What, Lord Vile?
That would work quite well, actually.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
What do we think about the Requiem Ball as a thing?
Oh, that was nice. I love any book that has like a ball in it for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. It's just like Derek Landy went, I've got to get everybody in one room in Gordon's house. What do I do? Ball! It's
party.
I love that Gordon was involved. I love it.
Yeah.
And that Val could barely speak to him because he's like buzzing. Because he's like, hey, I'm speaking to people.
It was so nice. Just to see him.
Like specifically this chick. Your entire school.
It was just like, how many more times though is he going to be able to write a book pre-death? That's the problem. Because obviously he's going to be getting so many more stories and he's going to want to write them all. And there's no way he can carry on doing it.
No,
unless
Valkyrie could say that she spent so long studying her uncle's work that she's now able to write books as good as his.
Or he does it like Lemony Snicket and writes it under a pen name, but then never appears. And Lemony Snicket somehow.
I like that Lemony Snicket is a character in his own book.
Because then Gordon can write himself in. What if the plot twist
already?
What if the plot twist at the end of these final books is the fact that it's actually Gordon writing it all down? And we've been reading Gordon's books the whole time.
I'd be disappointed because that's a really overdone plot twist.
Yeah, good point. It was fun for like 30 seconds to think about it.
If it turns out that actually Derek Landy was Gordon all along, I'd be like...
I mean, I just assumed that already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, obviously.
The books aren't dark enough to be Gordon's books. Like, they're dark, but I imagine Gordon's books to be like, what the shit is this?
Grim dark.
What am I reading?
If you were going to make, like, a comparison to the kind of books Gordon writes to, like, a real-life author, what kind of author do you think he'd be? Because, like, now that you've said it, I'm like, okay, but does that make him, like, a bit of a Stephen King writer? Or is he more of, like, an Isaac Asimov writer?
I would have went along the route of Stephen King. It's not a proper match, but that's the route I would have went down.
I've never read them, but I would have said more like Mark Lawrence from what I've heard about his stuff, because he's the one who did like Red Sister and that kind of thing. I'm thinking maybe along those sort of dark lines.
I think actually it would be James Patterson.
I was thinking that. The moment you said that, I was like, I feel like it's going to be a James Patterson, especially with the sheer number of books that he has out.
Literally.
Have you seen how many books R.L. Stein's got out? It's 58.
Yeah, but they're little.
Have you seen Fear Street? There's 58 of those, including 12, not including 12 spin-offs series. It was like, what? You've written how many?
One day I will have written that many books.
Yeah.
One
That is
day.
the goal.
I will not.
I will not.
One day you will read 58 books in a week and count that as a good goal.
Look, Ali, we get it. You don't like mysteries.
He is my dad's favourite author. My dad will and is attempting to read literally anything that has been published with his name on it.
Okay, but isn't he every dad's favourite?
Possibly, but like my dad goes a bit far. Like literally, he won't buy hardbacks because he doesn't keep books. Like, at all. None. Zero.
Yeah.
Nil. Quack. He's read hundreds. He's not kept any. Apart from Game of Thrones. So he won't buy them in hardback because it's just a waste of money. So he takes pictures of them, puts them on a wish list, and then when his birthday and Christmas comes around, he's like, buy me these, please.
Buy me these.
Buy me these. And then we get him every single James Patterson book in existence, and he reads them all.
That's cute.
He's currently reading, I'm making him read the Nevernight series.
Interesting.
I know there's issues with Kristoff. However, I already own the books, and my dad's not going to go out and buy more Kristoff from this.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think, I was like, okay, I've read Nevernight. I think he's going to love it.
Yeah. If you
He's already
think
finished
you'll like
book 2.
Nevernight, you should absolutely recommend to him Kings of the Wild, because I'm currently reading Kings of the Wild, and it's so good.
Once I've read it, because I'm getting a decent look on what I can overlap with my taste and my dad's. Once I've read it, I will know whether or not he will read it. Like Nevernight, I was reading it, and I said to him, like, "You're gonna get this. You're gonna read it." And he's like, "No, I don't want to." It was like, "You're reading it." And he loved it.
You loved it.
Sometimes it's the best thing to do is just throw the book at a family member and be like, "You're gonna love this. Read it now."
Literally, I was like, "Look, you've heard me go on about this book, for example. I've never tried to make you read it. I will never try and make you read it. Read this one." Is what I did.
I do that quite often. I get asked, "What should I read next?" And I go, "Well, here's your options. Go read."
He came up and you're like, "Abby, do you have the other books in that series?" And I was like, yes I do. It was great.
Challenge accepted. Ali, can you do me a favour and text me which books of the books that I've read so far you think will make it to my top 10 at the end of the year? And we'll see how right you are.
Wait, no, better. Film a clip.
Yeah,
that's
film.
That's a video.
This is Hannah's top 10 as of middle of August, because obviously you've not read.
It's a Taskmaster challenge.
I'm falling asleep and I can only apologise. It's just because I've had the longest day. It's not that I'm finding this discussion boring or anything like that, so I'm sorry that I've kind of like, I can feel my energy has like dropped.
Okay, so wrapping up Deathbringer stuff. So, I can't mention that. Okay, sorry.
Can you mention it to me later?
No.
Oh, damn.
I can't mention it at all.
Damn.
Where's a sticky note? I need to put a note in it so I can mention it when we get there in about 7 years.
It's for like 7 months. We're like halfway through now.
Yeah.
It's in the last one.
Yeah, we're like 7 months off.
So in Feb.
Yeah. March, Feb time. Not that long away.
No.
True. But yes, are there any other thoughts?
I have no thoughts.
You don't have thoughts anyway.
I remember there was being like a couple of things. Like I think the Vorian Scapegrace stuff is always very funny. We've touched on that a couple of times before. I really enjoyed that. I was very disappointed. There was 0 Tanith.
Yeah, but she was off in Maleficent 7, so you go read that one and you find out exactly what she's up to.
Kenny.
We forgot about Kenny!
The journalist.
How did we forget about Kenny?
Because it's such an interesting subplot, and it's obviously setting up for stuff to kick off. But like as a part of the narrative, it could so easily be written off, because like with Mortal Coil and like all the stuff with the remnants, there were loads of characters that got like 5 minutes screen time that never came up again. So Kenny could almost be another one of those, except he absolutely is not going to be.
We also haven't mentioned the death of Kaelin.
Oh, I was so ready for Kaelin to die by the time he died.
Oh yeah.
Very pleased.
It was so nice to finally see him die. It was just like, thank God.
It was just, I mean, she brought it on herself, but it was like, dear God, dude. I mean, he was supposed to be. It was written very well. He intended for us to be like, oh my God, please leave. But like, I was like, oh, please just kill him. Please just kill him.
It's a really interesting look at like toxic boyfriends and things like that, because I think there are loads of teenage girls who think that a guy that talks to you like that is like a good thing, and it's just like, no, like it isn't. And I think that's one of those times where, like you said earlier, there is a facet of Valkyrie that is far more mature than her peers, and like she can see this as a problem, but she's not actually an adult, so there's only so much she can do with that information.
And the only reason that not the only reason, but like a big reason that she can see it's a problem is he's like, I'll protect you. And she's like, from what? I have myself and skullduggery. Like, I am already, for a child, like a very old child. She's like a high-end teenager now, but still, as a child, I am very skilled at what I do. I have one of the most deadly people, even when they don't know that he's Lord Vile, who would do anything to protect me, and I'm considered his weak point. What do you mean you're going to protect me? What can you do?
Yeah, and not only that, but that's one of those things where like I really liked him as a comparison to Fletcher, because Fletcher never went in being like, I have to protect you. It was like, I want to do everything I can to protect you, knowing full well that actually chances are you will save my life first. Like, it was a far more equal relationship, you know?
Fletcher was like, yeah, I'm here to help. I'm aware you don't need me, but I'm here.
If you need snacks, I'll fetch snacks, all right?
It was more like Fletcher knew that Valkyrie could kick his ass, and Sodden knew it and was just like, I will just bow down to your power. Whereas Kaelin was like, I underestimate you constantly, and I love the idea of you, but not actually you.
Yeah.
But also, when you then said that about Fletcher, of like bowing down to your power, so we're all like technically young adults, which sounds weird considering that YA is teenage books, but like we're all adults, but on the younger age of being
Speak for
adults.
yourself. I am like 30.
My partner is 38, Hannah.
So okay, he's not.
He's still a child. He's still a child. This is my point. We are younger adults. Like, we are adults, but we're on the younger end of the spectrum. We're not
Okay.
80.
I still
And-
disagree, but okay.
What I meant is, like, at our age, to have someone who... What is that piece of hair? To have someone
Mine.
who...
Oh.
Mine. To have someone who would, like, respect the power that you hold in a certain capacity, whether that is physical strength or mental prowess or whatever, and being able to kind of bring what they have to the table, so Fletcher's teleportation, and have it alongside your strength for Val. At our age, fantastic. At 14 to 17, very bad idea, because she doesn't see it as equal. She sees it as, I am superior to Fletcher because I can do this, 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 and all he can do is teleport and be nice. And she needs to age up to realize that, one, she underestimates the teleporting, but then two, being nice, she underestimates that significantly. She's like, oh yeah, he's nice. It's like, no, he's nice, and that is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
To, like, he's nice to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, until they actively do something, he's nice to everyone. And I think that if they had a relationship when they were both older, and like at our age bracket, then I know that we span a large age bracket, but you know what I mean, us and upwards, that could have been like a real good relationship dynamic where they are, like, he can say, wow, like, I'm so impressed with how strong you are, and she can say, like, wow, I'm so impressed with how kind and caring and non-violent you are, other than when you need to protect the people you love.
Yeah.
And that makes a fantastic pairing, unless you're a teenager.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she's told by everyone in her life that she's amazing, and she's fantastic, and she's perfect. And she didn't need Fletcher to say that too. She needed someone to tell her she's an idiot. She needs someone else who treats her the same way Skullduggery does, but her age.
Yeah.
Like, she needs someone to be like, no, idiot. Because
Even he
everyone
doesn't
else...
really, like, he doesn't tell her... Alright. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Like, he doesn't tell her she's an idiot, but he just sits. It's when he's his quietest is when she's done something dumb. So I always think that's really interesting. But like, he does encourage her in those other moments. And like, obviously, when we started, I was like, the stuff between like people that ship Skullduggery and Valkyrie gives me the ick. It still gives me the ick, even though she's growing up and their emotional maturity is like evening out, because he's such a father figure to her, and she doesn't need another father figure. Well, she doesn't really need a boyfriend at all, to be honest. But it's not. She just needs to sort her own shit out first.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Oh, Abby, you got spoiler territory now.
Yeah.
I've collected myself, it's fine.
Okay. Good.
But
So
it's
shall
like-
we preface then the next book?
Yeah.
We shall.
I don't have
Kings
the
of the Wicked.
So let's compare covers, Hannah.
We've got Valkyrie with a badass sword. We've got more vile armor, which is always fun. We've got, I can only assume this is Tanith, maybe?
I think so.
No, that I don't think that is.
And then whatever that is.
Oh, yeah, that's. I know that one.
I don't.
I found
Yeah,
that really
you
confusing
do.
because I was like, that's the underside of his face. I was like, he's looking up. So, like, is it Fletcher?
No. Abby, if I say true name at you with the teenagers. There you go.
Got you.
Yeah.
I forgot that was in this book.
Yeah. This one is the last book I read on the previous read along I was doing last year before we came up with the idea for this.
I have Skullduggery and Abominable Snowman.
Oh, yeah!
Cute.
I remember that bit now.
and aforementioned teenagers.
I've got to admit, this is my least favourite book of the series.
That's who that is. Just she's aged up for some reason on yours.
Mm,
Oh, I see. Wait, did you
Yeah.
say this is your least favourite?
yeah,
Oh.
because of that blonde character. She annoys the living daylights out of me.
Oh, good.
I would quite happily have that storyline written out of the book.
Yeah. You can keep the main villain, but write out the teenagers.
Like the
And
overarching book for me is fine, but
Yeah.
I cannot be asked with them.
No, because they're very teenager in that sense, which sounds weird, but they're annoying.
Like, let me put it this way: I will be incredibly surprised if you don't hate them.
Yeah,
They're like
Yeah, I probably
as stupid
will.
as Val has been
there
in this
was.
one, with, like
How
the
long's your
relationship.
description?
Longer.
Should we
I
go with
think-
yours then?
Wait, no. Show me again. I mean, I'll read it anyway.
Okay, so it's
A little longer, yeah. Oh,
Go
go on.
No, you go.
Well, you do yours and then we'll do
Well,
mine.
if I read mine, we're just going to end up repeating whatever is in this if yours is longer. So
So,
Story time.
story time. Magic is a disease. Across the land, normal people are suddenly developing wild and unstable powers. Infected by a rare strain of magic, they are unwittingly endangering their own lives and the lives of the people around them. Terrified and confused, their only hope lies with the sanctuary. Skullduggery Pleasant and Valkyrie Kane, shut up, are needed now more than ever. We've discussed this in previous live streams. I say it wrong, we know.
it's fine.
And then there's a small matter of... I'm reading.
All right, teacher.
Fingers on lips, fingers on lips.
I'm sorry, this is my turn to talk. You'll have your turn later. Okay? Becca, if you don't mind. Thank you. This is why I never was a teacher, because I would have just laughed at them. And then there's the small matter of Katana, a normal teenage girl who, along with her normal teenage friends, becomes infected, becomes powerful, becomes corrupted. Wielding the magic of gods, they're set to tear the city apart unless someone stands up against them. Looks like it's going to be another one of those days.
So literally, I got to the developing unstable powers, and then it goes to wielding the magic of gods. Like it skips that entire middle chunk. So that's fun.
Yeah.
So basically, yours doesn't actually tell you what the book is really about.
Nope.
Yours is just like,
It never does. It
Actually-
never does.
but is that a bad thing?
I think like this is like one of the last ones of the chunky ones until you get to like 14. I think they start to get smaller again.
No, they stay the same size until the end of this series, and then Resurrection goes down to 300
Oh, okay.
pages. So we've still got...
Resurrection's small.
But we're also apparently doing this one in August.
Yes.
Where is it? Where is it?
I was originally going to read it this month, and then I've gone, I've got no time for that next month.
I'm kind of annoyed though because this cover goes with that selection of covers.
I know.
Ta-da! Look. It's very, very similar to mine.
I hate
That's
it.
a different drawing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've updated it.
They completely reworked the characters.
Huh. Look at the back though.
Back's the same.
It's... Is it?
Yeah. That's
Yes,
what,
it is.
yeah. I've got to admit, this one does make up for it. I really enjoy this one. Bless you.
And this way, she was a scary enough prospect when she fought on the side of good. But now she has a remnant bonded to her soul. Now she's something else entirely, and she wants to do her part to usher in the end of the world. It's a good day to be a bad guy.
Again, mine's longer. So mine is 4 god-killer weapons scattered around the world. 7 sorcerers hunting them down in a desperate effort to prevent the mysterious Dark Quest from ending humanity. And then there's Tanith. Highly trained combat mage, she was scary enough prospect when she fought on the side of good, but now that she has a remnant bonded to her soul, now that she's something else entirely, recruiting her own team of misfits and villains, Tanith will have to stay one step ahead of her enemies if she wants to protect Dark Quest and do her part to usher in the end of the world. It's a good day to be a bad guy. So, similar, but I get more.
Yeah, standard.
Although not for Deathbringer. We had
Yeah,
the
that's
same for
true.
Deathbringer.
That was weird. Yeah.
Hmm. Does yours have character art in, Abby, at the beginning? Ah, yeah, we got the same character art. Do you have the ones on the back as well?
Oh, mine has it too.
Yeah. It's also on the back. You've got different ones on the back.
Yeah, look at the back. There's different people.
Okay, well, I haven't looked at the front one yet. Jesus Christ.
I was just excited.
I know you were. Why has it got Paul Rudd and Justin Timberlake? Tell me that's not Paul Rudd and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
I
I can't.
You see, the thing is that I look at all of that and then I'm trying to remember which one is which, and it's difficult. I need someone to just label it at the top with who's who. I need them all holding those name cards.
I think with some of
I
them,
know,
it's kinda
why aren't
obvious,
they?
yeah. Like that middle one is obviously Spring Hill Jack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's
So
obviously.
that is not how I viewed him at all. I imagined him as far more of like a creepy character.
I felt a bit. He's like what, 6 foot?
Yeah.
Yes, even not including the hat, he's like 6 foot. I imagined him to be like, what's her name? Black Annie or whatever it is that's actually blue.
Yeah.
The woman next to him. She's in the short stories from Oh My Get Out of Here. I
Right.
expected him to be like that height and like hunched over and like Gollum-like, but not quite as
Yeah.
small as Gollum.
Yeah.
Like, not.
Interesting. Interesting. Everything you're doing there is interesting.
I also
Thank
expected
you.
him to have like really long nails as well. I don't know why, but I just thought he'd have like really long nails and like all of his clothes would be ragged.
Yeah.
So,
So
to mention a character from the series that shall not be named, I don't know something else that he's been in that I know you guys will know of. Becca, yes. Hannah, no. Why does he look like Filch?
yeah. Yeah.
Or like, if you want to go
Like,
with something
he looks like that is Filch. That is that man. I know that Becca will have seen him in.
That guy in, by the way, is Game of Thrones.
Doctor Who. He plays the first Doctor now.
I'm sure he does, but I haven't seen that.
He was also in the episode with Matt Smith and Rory and Rory's dad on the spaceship with the Triceratops.
I'll be honest. I watched that first episode with Matt Smith. Didn't enjoy it. Never went back.
Same.
The first episode's really bad.
So I
But I've
haven't
liked other stuff from Matt
watched
Smith.
a full episode of Doctor Who since Matt Smith came on.
Watch Peter Capaldi skip Jodie.
I didn't like Capaldi's first episodes. They pissed me off. But I enjoyed Matt Smith's. The Beast Below is one of his early ones that I still love. Like, a lot of the time, there's like a... Me and my friends are hooligans. A lot of the times there's a transition period when you get the new Doctor where they're still trying to be like the old Doctor when they're trying to find their footing in how they're acting. The Beast Below, which is only like episode 6 in Matt Smith's run, like 6, it's really good.
There's only 2 episodes of Jodie's I've liked because the writing is so bad.
Yeah, she's had really poor writing. Like,
Yeah.
it's... If I didn't know better, I would assume that it was some sexist Egypt writing.
I'm pretty sure it's
Writing
still is.
is bad.
It's Chris Chibnall.
I don't know who that
He's
is.
the one who did Broadchurch.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is he's done episodes of Doctor Who before. He did the episode 42, you know, the one where they're falling into the sun.
No, I don't. I don't know that episode.
Oh, right.
I
Well,
did.
it's a very good one. It's a very good episode. He wrote that. And
It's Tennant.
It's David Tennant. But I watch Doctor Who now and go, what happened? Did
Yeah,
you?
that wasn't very well. I didn't like it because it was too well done. I'm very picky. But it was like perfect. He captured perfectly what he wanted to, of like the tension and the stress, and that's probably why I don't like it. Because I like fun. I have enough tension and stress. Okay, I need fun.
I like fun.
Fun.
That's fair.
And he just ruined it.
Yeah. I have too many feelings about Chris Chibnall that can simply be described as I found out he was leaving and started cheering.
She was very excited when the tweet came out.
Yeah, just like, thank God! It's like, finally! They don't slam the door on the way out. Bye! And then Derek Landy, to bring it back to Skullduggery, did half kind of put his hat into the ring to take over, and I went, do it now. Just do it.
That's why me and Becca mentioned it, because I was like, oh look, Doctor Who writer leaving, knowing that we both like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And Derek Landy, someone like said like A and tagged him. And he was like, I wouldn't say no. And I was like, you would be so good.
But then he came up with like the concept of like the Doctor going really dark and then recovering themselves afterwards, and I was just like, can we just do it?
Like, let's be real. Skullduggery is basically the Doctor.
Yeah. And Valkyrie is his companion.
Yes. It just
It's
happens
just-
to be consistent.
It's fantasy Doctor Who.
I don't think this is a revelation, guys. I'm pretty sure we said that when we read book 1.
Yeah, but
Yes, but now we're saying it as an argument for Landy to be the Doctor Who writer.
Oh, I see. I see.
he's had the longest like audition going to be the showrunner. Let him on. If he's not busy writing comics, just let him do it. And don't get me
He's
wrong.
already- Well,
Can he finish the Skullduggery series first?
Yes,
He's
he's nearly done, yeah. So he's just got to do one more book, and then he could go do.
He's already made progress on the last book.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
started
I've
it.
said that about loads of my books, and that means I've written a couple of hundred pages. Like, I don't think you
Yes, but
appreciate
he's
how lazy
published-
writers are.
He's published a book a year, excluding the gap between series 1 and series 2. He's
I
published
mean,
a book a
so
year, if
have
not
I
more.
over the last 2 years. So,
and he's also writing comics at the same time.
okay, I'm not doing that, but fine.
Yeah, but
If I
love
have
him.
any art skill
wants to be the next
whatsoever,
Derek
I'm
Landy.
sorry.
I dare you to be the next Derek Landy.
I am really falling asleep now. So I think we're gonna leave it there. If that's okay with you two. I know, unless you have more to say regarding any of those books.
Don't think so.
Okay, cool.
I want the sword.
I want every sword. I went to Comic Con and then got really depressed that I didn't buy a sword while I was there.
I mean, are you going next year? Did you
I've got to
yourself
discuss it with my best friend. But the main sword and knife prop shop is closed. They were doing it a couple of years back and now they've closed. It was their closing down sale last time and I really wish I'd gotten something.
Yeah.
So now I'm having to go on Etsy and find stuff there.
Ali has 2 swords.
Who?
Ali.
What?
Give.
I love the comment of like, is anyone surprised? No, well, I'm not anyway.
No.
No, but give.
She's not
I
going.
don't know how you're going to ship it from the US to the UK. I don't know what customs is going to think, but give.
Yeah, they cosplay swords or the normal swords.
No,
No,
they're like. Just tell people you have a small penis. It's quicker.
I don't understand why. Ever.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Upsetting. Anyway, right. Is there anything you want to promo before we disappear? Because I'm going to go and sleep.
The Comic Book Sanctum had a new blog post up every day in July, so it's packed with stuff at the moment. If anyone wants to get into comics,
We love
it's
that.
all down there, including reading orders, which drives me insane. So they're all there.
Love that. What about you, Abby?
I post my usual shite. Ooh, not a promo, but I'm excited. I hit over 1,000 followers on my Bookstagram. I was very happy when it happened, and then didn't want to say anything for a few days just in case 12 people unfollowed me. Just in case.
I mean, that's fair. That's
I
fair.
did the same when I hit 400 on TikTok. I was just like, don't drop, please.
I was just like, it'll fluctuate. I'll wait till it's like definitely 1,000. But yes, so if you want to see my crappy little pictures that apparently 1,000 people care about, which is weird, then ta-da!
Ta-da.
Oh yes, that's true. Co-hosts for Ali's book club.
What? Yeah.
Henceforth, be known as Bella.
Oh, don't. So many people have done that. And they've also created it.
It's just names. It's
Yeah.
just names.
As
Yes.
long as-
What do you have to promote, Hannah? I know what
Me?
you have to promote, but I'm leaving it
I've
to
got
you.
a business where I sell books, and you can actually buy the.
Oh, I'm
next
putting an order
one.
in tomorrow. I forgot to mention. I'm putting in an order tomorrow.
Excellent. But
Yeah.
on the Discord, you can get a discount code, so you can get them cheaper. And
And I've already
all the book club books
scheduled
Yeah.
an order for when the move happens and I can purchase books. Literally, she has the screenshot.
I do.
We're going to discuss it once I'm actually like have the address to send things to.
Are you going to end up with a lorry load?
Yeah, basically.
No.
It's right. I
Maybe.
put some boxes aside to make it easier.
I did already have to pare down the list because it was at like 200 quid. I was like, no,
Yeah.
remove books, Abby. You're renting a house. Remove books.
But yes, so if people want to support me, they can treat themselves to a new book. That would really help me out. But other than that, I hope everyone has a nice day, and I am going to go and sleep.